Welcome to the 6th episode of the Hindsight and Hot-takes podcast. I'm your host, Connor Justclair. I'm joined once again by award-winning sports writer, Brogan Burns. Today is March 27th. It's opening day in the MLB. We'll get to our picks for who we think will win each division. Before we get to that, we'll talk a little bit about college baseball. It's time for 2020 Vision. So, Nichols traveled to Biloxi to take on the 13th nationally ranked Southern Miss, and they came away with a dub. Brogan, we were there for that game. First off, what's your opening thoughts?
What a game, man. I was hyped up that whole time.
You
can
really
attest
were.
to that.
You really were.
Having some fun out in Biloxi, but Colonels went out there, just clutched up like that. Isn't that crazy?
Took care of business. Strong performance from the offense. I was satisfied. Andy Miller, first collegiate home run, coming out of the gates in the third inning. He had himself a day. He's been special for this team.
Don't forget those 5 stolen bases in that game.
That too.
What a crazy way to, just a coming out party. That's kind of what I would call it.
Andy Miller, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, anytime. He didn't start the year at shortstop, made a couple great plays at shortstop. He's been a game changer for this team. Also, Jaden Kalura, another good game. Carter Jenkins, Carson Irvin. They've been players to watch for this Nichols team. A couple new faces in there, but they've been really strong for this team.
Kalura got in on defense, too, that game. You put him back in at catcher. He had a heck of a game. He stopped every one pitch he needed to stop. He was a brick wall behind the plate, I think.
Agreed. Anytime you take on the 13th ranked team in the country and get 13 hits off their pitching staff and you cause them to get 4 errors, Nichols, they did have some things go their way with, bad balls or whatever, but, they played solidly. They hit the ball around the ballpark. They made Southern Miss make plays, and Southern Miss didn't make those plays. It's looking bright for Nichols.
And at the end of the game, looked like, oh no, here we go again. Another Nichols fumbling the game again. But no, after that big hit, they came back and knocked him down. I think they just put everything in gear and made sure that game wouldn't slip away there. So, big props to that pitching staff. I know they had a few pitchers into that game, so they all did pretty good. So, it was nice to see.
Harper Jordan also picking up his 3rd win of the season. This weekend, traveling up to Natchitoches to take on Northwestern. Brogan, how do you think that series is going to go?
Now I'm going to remember it's not Nacogdoches again.
Not Nacogdoches.
Made that mistake earlier today. We're not doing that again.
Nope, not again today.
I'm ready for a good little conference series right here. I think Nichols, I think they're going to come out with a sweep here this weekend.
I agree. I think they're going to use this momentum. They finally picked up that first road win, even though it was technically neutral site. But that was a home game for Southern Miss. We saw the fans. They probably had 1,000 Southern Miss fans out there. So I think that was the jolt they needed to be successful.
Northwestern is not really a good team.
No,
looking at it.
And if they use this as momentum to keep going, this is going to bring them to where they want to go.
Yeah, this is a must-win series for Nichols right here if they want to do anything postseason-wise.
Agreed. Also, LSU last weekend, second SEC game. Texas went to Texas, won the Friday night game 8-2, then dropped the Saturday-Sunday game. The pitching staff was just not there.
No, and if you watch that Louisiana game, the next game, you could tell they were struggling. They won that game pretty badly, but pitching staff struggled throughout even Tuesday's game.
On that staff, Gavin Guidry hasn't been pitching, and it's noticed so far. Kason Evans, that dude's been he's been really out of the bullpen, he's been the only really rock-solid reliever. Everyone else, I mean, they're kind of finding their footing, which it's a lot of new guys. A lot of guys haven't I mean, to Texas's, thing, they were the sixth best team in the country. I mean, it is what it is sometimes. They put balls in play. I mean, even Jacob Myers got in. Recorded multiple 100-mile-per-hour pitches. He wasn't doing that at Nichols last year. But the bullpen just has not been good. The offense has been there. I mean, they're scoring enough runs to win. But when you're letting go 8+ runs a game, it's going to be tough to win in the SEC.
I mean, we talked about it before conference play started. This was the series where we saw what they really were. And they weren't who they wanted to be. Like, it's simple as that.
I think this team has plenty of potential. I think the bullpen's going to settle down. Jay Johnson and Yeski, they're going to figure it out. They always do. There's a reason that these guys are where they're at. But going forward, this was an eye-opener. That was an eye-opener weekend for Jay Johnson and crew. But I think they're going to be good going forward.
Let's hope.
And then taking on Mississippi State this weekend.
That should be a runaway.
That's going to be an easy sweep.
I think they'll sweep that easily.
All right. That's all we have for college baseball. When we get back, we'll have a new segment called The Mound Visit, where we'll give our picks for each division winner this season in the MLB.
Words like thunder don't seem to land. The weight's on you, you take a stand.
All right, Brogan. Now it's time for our picks for the winner of each division. We'll start with the AL East. Who do you got?
We're going with the Baltimore Orioles.
Wow. No. It's going to be the Yankees. I'll say, why do you think the Baltimore Orioles?
The Baltimore Orioles were right there last year. They were so close. I think with that little bit of experience, they're going to be there.
And they lost their best pitcher in Corbin Burns.
We can deal without a pitcher, You get your batting up, I think that's what it's going to be,
So magically, Adley Rutschman's going to have an MVP. I mean, for that team to do anything, they need Adley Rutschman to have an MVP-type season. And he's a good player, not a great player. I don't see that. But Yankees, I think they take the division pretty soundly. I know Garrett Cole, Luis Gil, Clark Schmidt starting the season on injury is going to affect them in the early on. Obviously, Cole all year. But Schmidt's going to be back in about a couple of series, really. And you got Rodon. You went out and signed Max Fried, probably a top 8 pitcher in the MLB. You still got Stroman. You had Will Warren, was one of the best pitchers in spring training throughout the whole spring. You got Carlos Carrasco, pitched to a 1.63 ERA this spring. He's been impressive, and he's going to be your 6th guy. And that's just pitching. Bullpen, you went out and get the best closer in baseball, Devin Williams, I'm not going to say a steal because you did have to give up a starter in Nestor Cortez, but you got the best closer in baseball. Made a couple really good trades, like Fernando Cruz from your Reds. What do you think about that trade? Were you happy with what y'all got?
Finally rebuilding a little bit.
Rebuilding by getting a defensive catcher for 1 year. I love Trevino. Great guy.
We're getting rid of our guys that we, brought in. We need to get rid of some,
Well, Fernando Cruz, one of the best splitters in the whole MLB. He's going to be big for this bullpen this season. Obviously, you got Luke Weaver coming back. Tim Hill coming back. New guys like Gomez. And actually, just a couple days ago, signing Ryan Yarbrough. I think he's going to be sneaky good for the Yankees this season.
My rebuttal. After one game, Rutschman, MVP right now.
Okay.
Two home runs, 3 hits, 3 RBIs.
Well, as a rebuttal to your statement, Austin Wells, the first Yankee player in history to hit hit an opening day home run, batting first in the lineup. I think Austin Wells is going to have a monster year for this Yankees team. He had a monster spring. He's carrying it on to the season. I expect big things from him. And this new revamped lineup, Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt. You have a full season of Jazz Chisholm. You lose Juan Soto, but it is what it is. I think Cody Bellinger's going to slot in well, and he's going to have a big season. He's going to be great for that lineup. And you have the best player in baseball, Aaron Judge, hitting second, 2-time MVP.
Where'd your pitcher go, though?
We just said you got an ace in Max Fried. You got Rodon. Not saying you don't need Garrett Cole. It's going to hurt, but the Yankees pitching staff is good enough to get them through the season.
Hurt a lot, but, that'll come about one day. You'll figure it out.
All right. For the AL East, that's our prediction. Next division, the AL Central. Brogan, who do you have?
You know what? We're going to have to go Cleveland.
Cleveland?
Yeah.
Why Cleveland?
I just don't see anyone else. Maybe Detroit could give them a run, but I don't see anyone else having a hold on this division.
Well, I have the Royals, and I think you're personally just a little salty about them getting Jonathan India earlier in the offseason. I mean, I got the Royals. Again, good, not great pitching staff, but they've been the same pitching staff for the past 2 or 3 years, and they get by on these. Seth Lugo, Cole Reagans, Michael Wacha have had revitalizations to their career. You still have a good bullpen, picking up Carlos Estevez, one of the best closers in the game. Eckrig, Schreiber, Stratton, Daniel Lynch have been great these past couple of seasons. Again, you got Salvador Perez. He's going to pick up probably close to 30 home runs. He's going to be that power guy in that lineup. Pasquantino picked up Kevin Biggio. Might be a little bit underrated. We'll see. Also picking up Mark Canha. He's going to be good for them this season. And probably a second or third best player in the whole AL, Bobby Witt Jr., locking down the shortstop position.
I'll give you Bobby Witt. What a guy.
Great guy.
Great player. But you talk about India. Do the Reds need India?
Well, we're not talking about.
He wasn't great.
We're not talking about the Reds. He's going to slide into this Royals lineup, and he's going to do big things.
I think the Cleveland staff
Jonathan India and Bobby Witt Jr. playing up the middle. That's going to be very special for this Royals team.
I'm telling you, they don't want to see this Cleveland pitching staff.
Who's the big names on Cleveland that we should be so scared of?
I'm just a guy.
Shane Bieber Shane Bieber on a 1-year deal that didn't pitch all of last year. We'll see what happens. But I got the Royals. This division is always close, but I have the Royals. Right, next, AL West. The past couple of seasons, this pitching staff and this offense has been very lackluster, to say the least. But again, I think this is the year this pitching staff for the Mariners show out. Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu. They have probably the best starting 5 in the league other than the Dodgers and the Yankees. I think that's going to greatly carry their team. Just signed Cal Raleigh to extension. Have one of the best young stars in Julio Rodriguez. I think the Mariners are going to be very well equipped this season.
I'll completely agree with you on this pick. Julio Rodriguez, come on. That's just my guy since he's been in the league.
When he's healthy,
great guy.
When he's healthy, he could have a 25. He could probably get a 30-30 season.
Well, I'm going to look at this game. They're playing through 3 innings. 1 hit.
Already.
1 hit.
Already has a hit.
No, Julio Rodriguez doesn't have a hit. The whole team has 1 hit.
But I guarantee you, whoever's pitching for them is doing pretty good.
0-0 game. So
exactly. My point.
Not
exactly.
Too far off.
So, if these pitchers continue to play how they supposed to, and this offense has any certain lower tier players show out, they're going to be very good to win this division. Right. Now moving to the NL. Start with the NL East. This is going to be a very tight division. But once again, the pitching staff of the Phillies is going to carry this team. Brogan?
Yeah, I had to go to the Phillies too,
I mean, Zach Wheeler, they traded this offseason for Jesus Luzardo. Then you have Aaron Nola, probably one of the best number 2 starters. Christopher Sanchez, Tyon Walker. You're going to have Ranger Suarez also returning from injury. Again, same old Phillies bullpen. Didn't lose anybody. Picking up Jordan Romano. Struggled with the Blue Jays last year, but again was an all-star closer just a few years ago. Still got Matt Stram. Jose Alvarado, one of the best lefty arms throughout the whole league. Carlos Hernandez, Tanner Banks. Got a great bullpen. One of the best catchers in the league. Bryce Harper, one of the most polarizing players in the whole game. And then Trey Turner, he's going to do great things. Max Kepler, Brandon Marsh. This team's going to be special. I think top to bottom. Also Nick Castellanos, top to bottom. They're built to win this division. Could say I'm just hating on the Mets, but they're going to be the same Mets team, even with a certain someone that joined their team this offseason, which we don't talk about here. Phillies. I got them taking this division very easy.
Outside of who's going to win this division, it's going to be one of the best divisions in baseball.
I agree.
If not 1 or 2, they're going to be number 1.
I just think, I think they're going to compete with the Braves. It's going to go down to the end. But again, Braves losing Max Fried, definitely their number 2 starter, if not their ace. That's going to hurt them in the long run. So I got the Phillies. Next division, NL Central, has your Cincinnati Reds in that division. But who do you think is going to come out on top?
I love my team, but it's going to have to be the Brewers again, I think.
Brewers once again.
They
lost their closer.
Division.
Lost their closer
Still
this
run
year.
that division.
I really think with the addition of Nestor Cortez, he's going to have a coming back to life season. He's going to be an ace for that staff. Freddie Peralta lost to the Yankees today, but is the Yankees. I mean, you got Aaron Savale, Koenig, Meagle. That team's going to very just well-rounded team. A lot of new guys. Have William Contreras. Have Reese Hoskins that they got. Young guys. Biloxi Shuckers. Joey Ortiz. Bryce Terang. One of the best prospects in all of baseball. Jackson Churio. Sal Frelick. And one of my personal best favorite players in the MLB. Christian Yelich. I think this offense is going to be scary. They just need some young guys to get hot.
Yeah, they can hit. But talking about Koenig,
he didn't have
game today.
Did not have a great outing today,
he didn't get through an inning.
But to his thing, he did give up hits to Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger. So anytime you go through the top of that Yankees lineup, it's going to be trouble.
I would stop him though.
Okay. All right. Now wrapping it up with the NL West. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like this.
The easiest pick of the entire episode.
I don't want to say it, but I have to. You can't pick against the Dodgers. I mean, had an amazing offseason. Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki. I mean, these dudes this team gets everybody. Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates. I mean, the offense is still going to be great. Re-signed Tommy Edman. Still have Mookie Betts. Still have Freddie Freeman. All in their prime. This team, unless injuries completely devastate their season, I got the Dodgers winning this division pretty soundly. I think the Padres put up a good fight. But, this top to bottom, this is definitely the most well-rounded team, as much as it hurts to say, in the entire league.
And if you look at what they did today against one of the league's best pitchers, I would say, in school ball, 2 home runs off of him. rocked him.
I mean,
And who
Probably
hit
the-
the home run? Who hit one of those home runs?
who hit it?
Ohtani.
Of course. I
Second
mean,
of the season. Two
hit-
hits, 2 runs, and 1 RBI.
I mean, he hit great against the Cubs out in Tokyo. I think it's going to be the same old Dodgers. I mean, they're until a team stops them, and this is a full force freight train. It's going to be tough to stop them, but I think they're going to win the NL Central pretty soundly.
I mean, any team that beats the Cubs is a friend of mine.
Of course. All right, Brogan, I think that's all we have today. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please leave a like and comment your thoughts.
Better leave that like.
Hindsight's got the view. Hot takes cutting through. Join us next time.